Hope you are used to needing a pen and paper by now.
Yep.
But first, so it is a little bit shorter lesson, but I was listening to another podcast. Why do I always forget his name? Lewis House. He was talking about goals, like beginning with an end in mind. Okay, perfect. So then the questions that I had, I was just going to do the first question, but just something that you guys can think about. It was, what is your ultimate end goal? When did you want to meet that goal by? And then rating from 1 to 10, like how badly do you actually want it? Is it a hope? Is it a no, I'm going to make this happen? This is my destiny. I'm gonna do this. Like 1 to 10. When I got started, it was all gas, no brakes, no balance. And that's okay when you're like feeling crazy, motivated towards something. People always talk about, oh, balance, this or that, or burnout. I'm like, there's a time and place for balance. I fully believe you can find balance. But when you are like at a 10, I'm going to make this happen. This is what I have to do, what I want to do. I've been called to do it. Like you're at a 10, it's okay to have a lack of balance for a time, as you are like, you're allowed to prioritize yourself. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to say, hey, family, hey, friends. You're allowed to say, I am not going to birthday parties and nights out right now. Like it's so crazy. I lost I was a single girl, single mom, like 40% of the time I didn't have my daughters. And so I had friends. Like I had a bunch of people I met through my business. So I was going out, I had weddings, bachelorette parties, now birthday parties, all these things. And when I sat down to do this, like Brandon and I were still relatively new. We weren't even engaged yet. We'd only been dating since June. I still had all these girlfriends. I have no friends right now. I went so hard on this business and had to say no so many times that all of those girlfriends who were still out, like playing, partying, traveling, stopped asking. I've got my sister, one of my best friends that lives in Idaho, and my very best friend, Jessica, who's a mom of 5. It's okay to level up. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say, no, this is time that I'm taking right now to further myself, my business, my goals. And if you gave me a 3 to 6 month goal, that's like all gas. That means you really want it. That's very important. You're ready to go. So I wanted you to rate 1 to 10. How bad do you want it? Is it like, I would love this hobby. This is fun. This will keep me entertained. Or is it like, I have to do this? And then the next was number 4. This one's a little harder. I want you guys to do the hard thing and say what it is that you're committing to, because I always use the analogy that if you get on a cruise ship without a destination, you're just going to drive and spin in circles in the middle of the ocean going nowhere. Like when you get on a cruise ship, you have to know we're going to the Bahamas, then we're going to Nassau, then we're going to go. You have to have a direction. You have to have an end goal so that you can steer yourself towards something. That's goals, that's parameters for yourself, that's hours spent on your business, that's deadlines, because it's hard to, we don't have a boss sitting here grinding us when we're doing our own thing, building our own businesses. We have to be the ones to set those goals. And so I want to ask you guys, determine how many times a week you want to post. If that's 1, because that's all you can do right now, it's 1. If it's every day, because that's how badly you want it, and that's what's going to need to happen to get to your goal. Like some of the goals here are bigger than others, some monetary bigger than others. So it's going to take deciding how many times a week you're going to post and then truly meaning it, sticking to it. And it's okay to have an off day, but what are you going to do the next day? If you didn't do what you said you were going to today, what are you going to do tomorrow? And that's the biggest determining factor of your success and reaching your goals is, I had a bad day, sure. What are you going to do tomorrow? That's so important. It's okay to have days where we don't hit the mark. It's okay to have days where we just couldn't do it for whatever reason. But if you have a goal of, I told myself, I'm going to post 3 times a day. I don't know how to post. I tried to post before. It didn't work. I'm really intimidated by this, but I'm hearing these people say, if you want to get ahead of everyone else on Instagram, only a portion of people are posting every single day. What could I do if I posted 1, 2, 3 times a day? So I posted 3 times a day, original content, 3 posts a day for 8 weeks. And then I was able to like every other week or every other day or once a day, or I was able to do that. But even now, you guys saw last week, April and March, I posted 40 and 45 reels in a 30-day period. I didn't post every day. Some days I posted, there's 2 days in between, but then I would come back hard and post 2 or 3 the next day. So even at my level, you just build that habit of posting. There's content creation and then there's content documentation. And when you think of it as content documentation, it becomes so much easier to whip out your phone and just do it. We put so much pressure on it. We build it up to be this big thing and this need for perfection about posting, but that's not even really the kind of content people want to see. The content documentation and bringing people along your journey with you is more so if you just had a really frustrating moment or a really exciting moment, whipping out your phone and saying it in your stories, that's content documentation. That's going to a dinner out with your family and documenting a moment and then getting home and posting it. It's so much easier to post frequently when we're content documenting rather than content creation. And I think there's a time and place for both. Content creation where you're researching, really nailing your niche, looking at your audience, knowing what you want to say, knowing what you want that content to do. That's content creation. But taking the pressure off of it, if you do have a lofty goal of posting every day, twice a day, whatever that is, documenting and posting in the moments of just living your life will make it so much easier to hit that content goal. And you might notice that posting those like on a whim moments get more traction and get more engagement because that's what we're all doing every day. We're all just living. So seeing moments of other people just documenting and living feels so much more relatable than this like high pressure, curated, took me 4 hours to make, researched post. Those are important. Those are evergreen. So they'll keep working for you. So they're worth it. But content documenting takes the pressure off and makes you just such a real person. And it makes it easier to just whip out your phone, talk to the camera, to put out that quote, whatever you're thinking, shower thoughts, even like that. It makes it so much easier to get to those numbers that we're committing to. So if it's 2 posts a week, I want you to do it. If it's every day, that sounds intimidating. But if that's what you keep telling yourself in your head that you're going to do, try it. I know that we are all busy, like some of us busier than others, some have full-time jobs. Be reasonable with what you decide you can do, but it's just like working out. People that want a nice summer body, fitness, health, whatever it is, more mobility, like you have to you have to go to the gym or put in the work for that 20, 30 hour a day. You have to do it. This is the same. This is that same thing. It's okay, we are dedicated. I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week. You have that time allotted. Do the same thing for your content creation. This is your business gym time, and scheduling it, planning it is how you're going to get on board with yourself to get those healthy habits and setting yourself up for success. And that goes into the next part of this little lesson. And I wanted to talk about what kind of content is easiest and what kind of content is hardest. Then we're going to talk about content pillars and then a simple posting schedule to keep you on track. So in your head, just knee-jerk reaction, what is the easiest kind of content you picture yourself making? Is it whipping out your phone and doing a quick talking head? Is it a faceless reel with text on screen? Is it a voiceover? Is it a quote? What is the kind of content that you feel would be most natural for you to create? And then let that be, if you need to, your off the hook post. If you're down that day, busy that day, overwhelmed that day, but you told yourself you would post, make it fun. Make it be the kind of content that comes easiest, as long as you're willing to schedule the time for yourself to do the other posts that you know you need to. Gosh, I think it was call 2, where we went over the 6 content types and what they do. I'd have to think about what the content types are. It's to educate, to inspire, to build trust, to sell, and to get engagement. Those are the posts that I think that has just been preached about over and over when you're talking about like the archetypes of posts and what they're supposed to do. If you're hitting the education, the inspiration, the trust building, the selling, and the engagement, is that only 5? And then gosh, I don't remember what the other one was. But if you're hitting those, when people are binging your content, if they spend 15 minutes on your page, they're gonna get every aspect of you to convert them. And so having each kind of content is important. But if you're saying I'm gonna post twice a week, those posts need to be pretty dang good. Set yourself up for success. If you're saying I'm gonna post every day, you have a lot more room for fun. Sounds painful. You have a lot more room for fun because it's what you want to create. It's what you're gravitating towards. And that's another thing to find what you feel like you'd be best at creating is when you're on scrolling instead of creating content. What do you gravitate toward? What kinds of posts draw you in? What if you looked at your discovery feed, what are the posts that are most frequently showing up for you? Are they highly edited? Are they behind the scenes? Are they quotes? Are they talking heads? Are they voiceovers where people are like doing something in the background? If you can check your discovery feed and look at what you consume most, probably most familiar with that type of content, it'll probably be easier for you to also create that type of content. We're a product of our environment. We're a product of this fly. What talk was that? It was like Pence or something had a fly land on his head during a debate, and it was like a meme for a long time. Now it's like my worst fear. I'm like delivering a powerful message and there's a fly on my head. There's flies in here constantly because I keep my doors open. But they say you're an average of the company you keep. We're also an average of what we consume. That's food, media, music, podcasts, friends. So I'm going to dance like a weird old guy. So just be mindful of what you like. If you're having a hard time, or like me, I was having a profound content block, resistance to it. That's the first time I've felt that since doing microblading and feeling like it wasn't going anywhere. Like I didn't know what I was doing. And so then when I'm sitting down thinking, okay, all these people are telling me if I want to build an online business, I didn't realize content was a huge aspect of it. I'm like, oh, I could just build a website and hey, how do you get people there? I'm not going to pay for a bunch of ads. I'm not smart enough to like master SEO and bring in all these people. I don't know how to make myself searchable on Google. So I'm like, okay, I have to make myself do content. And I was able to, I was in a desperate enough spot that I just did it, but I haven't felt this resistance and content blocked in a very long time. So I was like, what do I want to create? What do I like to create? And I went to my Kate's Glow Club page and I created 2 reels of skincare transitions. And I think that's fun. So I got those posted. And then the next post, I was late on my homework, but I told you guys last week, like, post something that you need to post. And so I was just like, here's the no gatekeeping. If you're trying to build an online business, you got to post content. That's the most important thing. A lot of people want to shy away from that fact or pretend that it doesn't exist as they're building their online business, but it is the content. Like before you do anything else, before you're going to make a penny, before you're going to have anyone have eyeballs on you, your product, your mission, your goals, your message, you got to create the content to get it there. So for me to get out of that content block and walk myself off the cliff I didn't want to walk off, I made myself create something fun for me, something that I liked. And you know what? I made a few Oliveda sales. Those kind of slowed down. They slowed way down. I was making real good money on my Kate's Glow Club page because I blew up to 3,000 followers in 7 days. So for 7 days, it was like, boom. And even a few days after that, but once they took that page, all of that was gone. And it was only the income from the few reels that I made on my Payday with Kate page. And so I'm like, okay, I want to get that going again. I know that it works. So I created 2 reels and a couple sales came in. And that's never going to be what should make you do it. because I'm at a point in my business now where when I post, it does bring in income. But for now, it's when you post, that sensation of doing it, of getting out there, even the rush of one new follower, 2 likes, 200 views, like that, those are the goals and the wins we're working towards right now. And saying I'm going to post 4 times a week, and then the end of the week comes and you can look at those 4 posts, that is a huge victory and the absolute first step to building your business online. And it's easy to ignore that part or put it on the back burner because it feels safer. I worked on my guide today, so content will come later. Or I did this today, so I will get to the content. I know I will. It's so hard when you kick that can down the road for so long. Once it comes time and everything really is ready, it doesn't get any easier to post. It truly doesn't, and sometimes even harder to post because now you've had this whole experience of months and months of working on something. And now when you post, you have so much invested into it that you're like, okay, no one watched it. I've worked so hard on this back end stuff. Like, reading my mail, so rude. You worked so hard on this back end stuff that you're finally like, okay, fine, I'll post. And it means so much more to you now. And I'd argue that waiting to post hurts more and is more difficult the longer you wait, because it is always going to be difficult. It is always going to be uncomfortable until you feel comfortable with it. And the best way to do that is flex that AMCC, part of our brain that grows and rewards us for doing the things that we don't want to do. And you will be shocked at how much easier it gets to post after you commit and say, even for 1 week, if you say, I'm posting 5 times this week and you do it, the next week, oh my gosh, it is insane how much easier it becomes. Like it is, I can't think of many examples of doing something and then it getting easier, because content is a very scary, hard thing to do. Putting my ideas out there, putting my face out there, putting my thoughts, putting my brand, putting me online for potentially millions of people to see if all goes to plan, right? That's scary. So the quicker you can get to that goal, quicker you can say, I'm posting the content and actually doing it, the quicker your business will grow. And seeing the reaction to you posting, albeit painfully slow sometimes, with 2 followers, 3 followers, 20 followers, 20 views, it's painfully slow. You've done it. And that content are the bricks to building your business. Every single piece of content you lay is laying a piece of that foundation that people inevitably will go back to. Last week, I scrolled all the way down to my first post, and what was it at? 6,500 views. That first reel got like no views. So I was like, oh, here I go. I'm going to just post 3 times a day, every day, and no one's watching. And then eventually it was like, okay, now there's 100 views. And then all of a sudden my reels had 1,000 views. But now I went back. I hadn't gone back and done that in a while. The very first post that got no traction now has 6,500 eyeballs that have seen it, because it is the foundation. People will binge you. People will go back and study you. Who is this person that sparked an idea in my head? If they follow, or before they even follow, they will likely binge your content. I know I do. If I see something about someone, like I just started following this guy. He was on day 3. He quit his job at a tire shop and decided to take out his whole 401k, learn how to sail, buy a boat, and he's sailing from Oregon to Hawaii by himself as a novice. I saw him. He had 12,000 followers already. On day 3, he is at over 1 million followers, and he's on day 9. I love watching this guy. He is not polished, doesn't know he's know it. He stutters. He burped on camera and was like, oh, oops. Like, he takes his time with what he's talking. He's not editing out every perfect word. Like, he is so cool to watch. And everybody in the comments were like, bro, you can't leave us hanging for 14 hours. We were worried that like you got capsized or something. So he has somehow found a way to make himself post the content. He's not used to doing that, but he's doing it now. And it's so cool to watch. Every time I refresh his page, I'm like, are you kidding me? How cool. He's going to start getting sponsored, brand deals. If he's posting on TikTok and YouTube, he's going to start like 500,000 views on TikTok or on YouTube, once you're monetized, can be like $6,000-7,000 for 500,000 views. And this guy's like already double that in followers. So I hope he's cross posting his stuff, because he's going to be a millionaire any minute now, doing what he loves doing, quitting his job and sailing. So I'm considering.
What's his IG again, Kate? What's his IG?
Look it up. Sailing with Phoenix. Sailing _with _Phoenix. I checked this morning. He had 1.1 million. He's got 1.2. He's gained 100,000 followers today. Crazy. It's awesome. Okay, he's on day 14. But yeah, he talks about his story before. He posted his whole journey getting ready for this. So I went back quite a ways, and he's buying his boat. He's buying his sails. He's modifying it. He's like buying supplies. He's talking about this journey. I think I'm wrong at 10,000. I think he had 100,000 followers. It had to be 100,000 followers when I first saw him. And he was on day 3. And so he's just like gaining this insane momentum of interest. And of course, we all can't quit our jobs and jump on our sailboat with our cat. Like that's of course going to gain millions of followers, but we can word our stories in a way that will gain interest. And I was watching Mr. Beast games. I guys told you I'm like hooked on Mr. Beast now. He was doing this competition. You guys can watch it on Amazon. It was like a full series. He built this town to have people come compete for $5 million. In one of the episodes, there's people like, the game is you have to say something to convince them to switch the train track so it doesn't either hit their avatar and knock them out of the game, or hit a Lamborghini or something parked on the train tracks. And so these people are like, I'll promise you this, or I'll do that for you if you don't eliminate me. And he said, this is something that I heard very long time ago, and I can't believe Mr. Beast said it, because I think about this all the time. He's talking to the guy about to get eliminated, and he looks down and he's like, there is a combination of words that you can use to make this go your way. Like, it was like already obvious that he was going to get eliminated, but he said, you're talking to this person, there is a combination of words that you could use to make this go your way. And I was like, oh, I always think about that. And maybe that's why I'm good at going viral. Because I know with my message, there is a combination of words. I can put this a certain way to make people stop, to provoke a feeling, to change their mind, to give them a mindset shift. Think about your content. If you don't have, I post about my husband was in jail. That's easy. Maybe if I wasn't better at this, I wouldn't be able to gain the interest and go viral with those posts, but I know how to word it to intrigue people. Like the heart attack at 32. We don't always have like big things like that we can say, but we do have stories, and there is a combination of words that you can use to pause people, to get them interested. So thinking creatively about how to use your story and what words to use to get people into your world, that's the hardest part, but it's the coolest thing once you figure it out. Taking your ideas, taking your stories, and deeply thinking about what is the way that I could say this about my story to hook people in to keep watching, to get them to want more. And then getting them to come into your page and binge your content and hit follow, having that bank of posts is the only way they're going to follow you. Some people follow off of a reel. I've got plenty of reels where you have notifications on Instagram and it will say, so-and-so followed you from your reel. So-and-so followed you from your reel. But at first, I wasn't getting those notifications. I was getting followers, but I had no idea, like, what was it? What did they see? Did they come into my page? How many times had they seen me before they followed? But if it says so-and-so followed you, we don't know from where. That means they came into your world, poked around your content, and decided to follow. That's really cool. That's what we want. It's great if you can land a reel so hard that people hit follow off of one reel. That's the goal, but it's very hard to do. So having a bank of ideas and committing to that content schedule or content frequency that you promised yourself is the only way that you're going to get followers to come into your world and see enough to follow you. And that's why it's slow to get followers, because you don't have 50 posts for them to scroll through and go, oh, I like that. I also like that. And I also like that. So I'm going to follow. People are getting pickier and pickier with who they follow. I used to just follow anybody for any reason. Oh, that's funny. I'll come back to it. Now I'll save a post. Now I'll only heart it because I can go back and look at it. But now I'm worried about changing my algorithm. So I'm like, if I follow you, it's a big deal. Like I had to go binge your page and decide it's worth it to follow you now. And that's just the way it is. It's harder and harder to get a follow. So without that bank of content, it's harder. And if you've already worked for months to build your business before you start building that bank of content, it's just going to set you back. Like you're going to be like, I had 6 months of doing this, and now I have to build up 5-6 months of content before followers come easy. It's just so much better to get the content out first. And then here's a little content way to plan some of the content. First, think of your pillars. And I like to be playful with my pillars. So here's some examples. Your pillars are generally 3 to 5 topics. 3 to 5 topics that you want to talk about, you find yourself talking about, or you want to be included in your content. So those are your pillars. More than 5 gets muddy, but it's what people are going to come to you for, what you're going to be known as, and the key things that you are going to be able to teach people or sell a product around. So instead of saying, when you're naming your pillars, your 3 to 5 pillars, instead of saying motivation pillar, it could be Real Talk Monday or online pep talks. Like giving your pillar some personality that fits you just makes it more fun and more memorable and makes it stand out, because a million people can name their pillar motivation. But say Kimmy, it's like advice from Auntie. That's your pillar more than advice. So it already makes your content feel so much more unique and nuanced to you rather than the generic word that everybody else would use. It's just a little psychological hack that I use to name my pillars. Glow Club with Kate, like my pillar, like I wanted my name not just be like skincare. Like I want to show like healthy alternatives to the beauty products that we use and the dangerous things that we use. And it's very important to me in my own life. So now I get to showcase the things that I use that help me. Another
Is that a
example,
page name or a post?
my skincare page is called Glow Club or Kate's Glow Club.
Okay.
So it's like anyone else who wants to glow up in a healthy way, join the club, is like my thinking. And then instead of business tips, call it breakthrough business moves. Or I had more, where'd they go? But give each of your pillars a fun name, simple, playful, just make it feel like you and something that makes you feel like you're putting your essence into it so that it'll stand out. Motivation, anybody can teach about motivation, but what is it that you teach about motivation? Anybody can teach Bible verses, but how does Kimmy in her heart teach about coming back to God? That is your content pillar in the way that you would teach it. And then a simple way to do a content calendar, it takes the stress out of it when you know what you're doing. And I've done it all the ways. I have just said, like in the beginning, it was a free for all. I would be scrolling, and if I saw an idea, I would sit down and do it because I had never created content like that before. I didn't know what I was doing. So any idea that I liked, I would just immediately do that. But then as I started learning, okay, there are different content types, different content needs to do different things. This is for engagement. This is for trust. This is for education. Then I was like, I'm too scatterbrained and ADD to keep track of that myself. So I sat down. I'm not doing it so much now. I got a little more free and creative with it now that I know all the types. I can keep track better in my head. But in the beginning, I bet you if you were to look back at my content, like between last May and August, probably, I was actually scheduling out what I was doing. And I said, if I'm going to be posting 7 times a week, then I had each day for what I was going to do. I was like, these 2 days, I'm going to educate. These 2 days, I'm going to talk about my product. This day, I'm going to tell a story. And this day, I'm going to sell really hard in my stories, my posts. And that just makes it easier for you. If you're saying, I'm going to post this many times a day, write out, okay, here's my pillars. If you've got 3 pillars you're going to talk about and you want to post 3 times a week, looks like you're probably going to need to post each pillar if you're working actively on 3 pillars at a time. I do recommend starting slow. The fewer the pillars in the beginning, the better. Get known for one thing before you add another. But having a small idea of the content you're going to be posting each week helps you say, okay, you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed, I need to post a educational post about this pillar today. Instead of waking up and going, shoot, what am I going to post about today? I don't know. You don't have to have it that planned. But if you know before bed, okay, what does my week look like? Okay, Tuesday is educational post about content pillar A. Then there's no excuses. And they always say it's so cliche, failure to plan is planning to fail. If you set yourself up with that small content calendar, even if you don't know exactly what you're going to post, you can, hopefully you guys have a running list in your notes of like ideas that come to you or saved posts that you have saved on Instagram. So if you are running low on inspiration and all of a sudden it's content pillar C, it's that day you're supposed to do that. Hopefully you can go into your notes, even if you don't have any ideas, and force yourself to make that post. That keeps you on track. I wrote down examples of what to post, but you guys know. So if it's business, on like Monday is going to be business tips, it's a carousel. And then Tuesday, behind the scenes story. And then Wednesday, client wins, a screenshot and a caption. Thursday, a pep talk with a talking head video. And then Friday, posting about my product and like a static carousel so that it's evergreen. But I do better when I don't tell myself what kind of post it's going to actually, I guess I take that back depending on where I'm at in my content resistance. If you're the type of person who wants complete freedom, like I don't know what I'm going to post today, but I'm going to post about this idea. If it's, maybe it's a story, maybe you go live, maybe it's a carousel, maybe it's a talking head, but I don't get ready very often. So I do need to say, I'm not doing my makeup today. I'm probably not going to be inclined to whip out my phone and do an educational talking head if I look like this. Like I'm less inclined. I still will do it if the idea comes to mind, but I'm more inclined to say, I'm going to film my talking heads when I actually need to get ready for whatever reason. So keeping in mind your schedule, where you're at in your week, and saying, maybe I do want to film today. That's easier for guys to whip out your phone and just film than us ladies sometimes. Like that day that I woke up, like Brandon came home and woke me up, he could just put on a hat. Hey guys, if I would have come to the phone, I would have had eye boogers and puffy face. There's just no way to just immediately jump on and talk to you guys. So it's a little different for men and women, but if you are the type that wants to get ready, if you're deciding before you go to bed, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to film this today, it just keeps you so much more accountable because we're the only ones that can do that for ourselves. And then the last thing is just a challenge. I always like to give a challenge to you guys. You guys feel like you actually do them, or do you just think that's a cute suggestion? I know you do, Lemma. I know you do, Connie. I think Kimmy is like, that's cute, Kate. Maybe not. Probably not. But it's all in our own time. I know that it takes being comfortable, but this week's challenge is I want you to take, first off, I want you to sketch out your content calendar as soon as you can, whether it's now or after the call. Sketch out your content calendar, decide how many times you're going to commit to posting, sketch out your calendar, and then take one of those and either draft the caption for your faceless post or record the video. But whatever gets you to take action, whichever one you're going to want to post most, I want you to just take that content calendar and then line it up so that tomorrow you actually do make one of those posts on that content calendar to give you some momentum. And then, of course, as always, I would love to see it or have you tag me or you guys put it in the community so I can take a look at it. But content is intimidating if you haven't done it. And the only way to get over the intimidation is, unfortunately, to do it. And I'm super proud of everyone who is being consistent with it, certainly if it's uncomfortable, because even though it looks like I know what I'm doing, or just my girlfriend will be like, you're on fire, you post all the time. And some days I do. Sometimes it is that easy, but sometimes it is painfully obnoxious. Right, this last week and a half or 2 weeks, I dragged myself out of it. So I know that struggle. And sweet Brandon has the craziest, coolest story. My husband, who would want to hear crazy misnomers about prison stories, rise from I don't give a crap about God, I hate being here, to like the most biblically knowledged man I know. I could say anything and he'll be like, oh, that's the scripture. And this is the other thing about that scripture. Because we always talk about my parents and how I'm so evil and wicked and how like the way that they believe, he'll be like, this scripture like directly combats that way of thinking. And he'll whip it out. And I'm like, I went to church every day, like until I was 29 years old. I can't do that. But there's so many things that he could post that would go viral. There's so many things. If he were to say half these stories and I could help him hook them, he would go viral. All these posts would get millions of views. The man can't do it. The man won't post. He made a page, Real Freedom, REEL, Real Freedom. Like he thought he would. When he quit his job to help me on the back end, he's, oh, that's a good idea. I'm like, write it down. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm like, film it. Like he just wouldn't. He couldn't. He's not the person who was ever going to do it. He thought he might, but it's such a waste of stories to me. And if I could shake anybody out of it, it should have, could have, would have been him. He just couldn't get over that. Like scared, don't know how to do it, don't know how I'll sound. Like he's very eloquent in person. He's very eloquent, like helping you guys, talking to you. Rex met him, but when it comes to content, he just couldn't get over it. So I know there are some people who will never get over it, but what a shame it would be to build an entire business in the back end and not know if you could get over it yet before doing all of that work. So I'm saying this also for people watching this after, not those that are just on the call. It's important for everyone getting going to understand the weight and gravity of content, the importance of it, and how it will not, it cannot, it just doesn't get easier kicking the can down the road. It's easier by just, what's the word, diving off the cliff at first, is making yourself do it. What does Elon Musk say entrepreneurism is? It's staring off into the abyss and chewing on glass. Such a random thing to say, but I'm like, kinda, yep, that's about right. I agree. So that's what content creation can feel like, but it's so worth it and it's the fastest way to your goals.
Kate, do you
Yeah.
use
Oh, go ahead.
a content calendar?
I have never like there's plenty of content calendars, there's tons of apps, but I never wanted to learn another bit of technology. So my trusty notebooks were always mine. At the beginning of the week, I would just have a little meeting with myself, my employee meeting. I'd sit down and say, okay, this week, this is what the market's doing. This is what I intend to do. Like, where do I want my business? Am I making any shifts? And then I would write down the posts.
Okay. I just print a calendar off Word. I was like, I don't need to learn another thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I could do it on paper, I'd rather do that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yes, Zulema.
Yeah, I wanted to write down. I have the talking head, the carousel, and then what were like the other?
There's talking
other-
heads. There's faceless content with B-roll, where you just either film yourself doing anything, or you can pull faceless content off of Pexels is the one that I usually use. Pexles, Pexels. You can get free. Those are mostly pictures. You can go on Etsy and buy content banks too.
How do you spell that, Kate?
Pexels,
Oh,
Pexles, Pexels, I think.
thank you.
And then if you guys want to do faceless content as well, I know there's so many content banks on Etsy where you can just buy like a Canva document with 2,000 videos, and you can say, there's a couple of them in the bottom of the community. There's one that's like a men's content video bank, and then there's one that's like a travel aesthetic, more girly. So those I use once in a while if I'm like, I don't want to film anything, I don't have any good relevant videos, I'll just jump into that content bank and just swipe until I find something I like. And then you can save it and reuse it if you find a few that you like, but just save them to your phone. But there's, so faceless with B-roll, text on screen, there's Instagram lives, there's posting in your stories, carousels, and then just even just a static post with just one picture also. But there's a lot of different, and then there's also Instagram trial reels, which is another way to test out content if you feel nervous. But there's
Kate,
just so many. Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, you know how you said that we had like a chance to ask questions at the end? If
Mhm.
it's not the time, I'll wait.
Oh no, that's perfect.
Oh, okay. So I just wrote down here like some of the notes from last time, and then I wrote down, you mentioned to try YouTube. You and Connie said I would do well. And then I just wrote down, what do you see me doing on YouTube? And I already had so many ideas. Like I have 6 or 7 written ideas in front of me about what I would do. And so one of them is just interviewing musicians, maybe shadow them for a day, or like half interview, half kind of shadowing. And then I just had these mini episodes of putting myself out there, just challenging myself and documenting the whole process. I have so many different ideas, but I just don't know which ones to do. The one that I feel strongly about is just basically vlogging episodes of my whole journey, like including facing my fear and creating an album, interviewing musicians, the healing, and like a little bit of philanthropy. That's what stuck to me, but I don't know if that's too much to do because they're just like episodes, right? Because I have a couple of surfers that I love and they do vlogging and they have like different things that they do, but mostly it's like surfing, but then they have like other things in between. So that was my question without going too much of a tangent and like reading all the stuff that I have.
I really like that a lot. And YouTube is a little bit different. Like Instagram, the most you can do is 3 minutes unless you go live. Right. Even if you did a podcast episode or a really beautiful YouTube episode, you can only post a teaser and say, comment whatever, or go to my YouTube channel. That's what I was doing with my podcast, is I would have the episodes on YouTube or anywhere you can listen, but then I would take just little clips of that to post to TikTok and Instagram to get people onto my YouTube, because YouTube really is where you can make the most money, unless you're selling a product. If you're just wanting to get paid for content, which is a really good way to make money, I think that you would do so well with everything that you said. Challenging yourself to doing something and documenting the whole process, doing like any behind the scenes with your album, interviewing people, all those things are perfect form for YouTube, because YouTube, people are there for long form content. I actually get annoyed when I go to YouTube because I have an idea, or I want to feel something or learn something about this or that, and you have to scroll past a bunch of shorts to find the videos of substance, or go to that person's channel and then find their longer videos. So YouTube, there's people there who only want shorts. There's people who go there for long form content. And if they go there for long form content, they're more likely to just let that video play the full 10, 20, 30 minutes. It can be an hour. Most of my podcast episodes were 30 minutes, and the retention was pretty good all the way to the end. So YouTube is excellent for what you're talking about wanting to do, because you can give people more of the full interview, the behind the scenes, and then you can use those clips to fill your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram to get people into your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I was just like, I don't know much about YouTube. Like I think I have 2 channels on there, but I didn't really think about it until you mentioned it, and I had it like far-fetched, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do stuff on Instagram because I love like sharing what I'm doing and just the stories and things like that on Instagram. And I know how to do that. But then I know with YouTube, it's like I guess the automation and how like they pay you is like higher than, it's like the top one. So I don't know. I was just like, I have so many ideas, and I have people already that said, oh yeah, you can interview me. I already have a bunch of musicians and stuff that said, oh yeah, I'll definitely do it, like whatever you need. But I just feel like it's a bigger animal to tackle. So I wasn't like, I'd have to figure that out.
I have that same reservation in my head as well. And then just today, actually, I was watching a Millie video where she teases some like how to do YouTube, like how to tag it. Cause like keywords are important. I know keywords in my name card on Instagram, my bio, in my captions. Like I know all those keywords and where to put them. That's different on TikTok, it's different on Facebook, and it's certainly different on YouTube. But it's if you know you want to share this type of thing and you know that YouTube is the place to make the most money, put most of your like learning brain into YouTube. And where I have made the biggest mistake of my life, almost as bad as not starting the community back when I should have, is I should have been posting all my content to YouTube. I should have 20,000 subscribers on YouTube by now. I have 600 and something because I only posted 8 podcast episodes. So I know I looked today, I'm like, how do I, because like, what do I want? What do I want to do now that I'm in the position where I get to do what I truly want? I love teaching beginners how to do this. I love it. But I don't know if you guys would agree. Most of what you're getting in here, like, yes, Kickstarter, yes, there's some technical stuff. Yes, it's a lot about content. I don't know if you guys can tell that my biggest passion is teaching self-compassion, love, like belief in yourself, like mind hacks to get us over certain limiting beliefs, like using the deep, painful, hard lessons that I've been put through in my life to help others is my biggest passion. So if I am getting to do that in this community, I'm getting to do it and watch you guys also start your business, but a segue for me would be keep this community. I love it. Keep growing it, but bring more people in, not just for the business building aspect, but the mindset that it takes to get there. And I think that's the direction. That's why I'm stalling. I'm like, I think I do really want to put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel. And that's okay. I gotta learn a bunch more stuff. How do I tag like all the things? You're supposed to like even put keywords in each of your timestamps. And I'm like it's just another big thing. But if that's truly what I want to do, and I say this all the time, what is it that you actually want to be doing in like a year from now? Drop most everything else and start doing that, because that's how you're going to get there. So if that's what I'm thinking, like, why am I working so hard on creating content about skincare? Why am I working so hard on creating content about content creation? If really my heart is to help people have mindset shifts that better their belief in themselves and have a better relationships with their kids, their lives, their spouses, whatever. It's what I truly want to be doing. And so learning, like digging into YouTube, I felt was going to be a much bigger beast. I don't think it's as difficult as I was making it out to be in my head. It feels like an animal. It feels like a whole different machine.
Yeah,
but
just
all
like,
it really is learning how to tag those few things and then creating longer form content. And then once you do that, you can funnel and reuse and recycle all of that longer form content into other avenues to get more people to your Instagram. So it's like kind of cyclical. They feed themselves. And I think it's a really great idea for you. And you have some followers on Instagram that you can continuously get for more, visit my YouTube, and you could probably get to your 1,000 subscribers quicker than most with the followers that you already have.
Yeah, I guess I was just like, the whole thing is, oh, like video content. Like, I'm like, do I have to have a video? I guess it's the whole conversation of, oh, do I have to have a videographer? I have an old iPhone. I'm like, am I just filming on my iPhone? How do I edit the content? Like, it's just all these questions. So I think it's just, I know on Instagram more or less, but now it's, oh wait, how do I do what I'm doing on Instagram and transform it into YouTube? And like, how do I figure out how to do that? So that's the conversation I'm having right now, which is good.
What kind of iPhone do you have?
Oh, I have an old iPhone. I have an iPhone 8.
So I will say you must at least have a good iPhone. But if you don't already use an iPhone, then the next thing would be just get a reasonable camera. And it doesn't have to be crazy. Like what
I have a little GoPro. I have a little GoPro camera.
Yeah, depends on the specs of it. I can even ask my nephew-in-law. He's Mr. Unbelievable Guru. He's the owner of Full-Time Filmmaker. He's doing really good. But he'll give me recommendations of just basic camera, just basic microphone. But if you have a ring light, a mic, and a camera, even a basic one, you've got all the makings of, or even an iPhone. If you have an iPhone, you don't need a camera for our level of content creation, but that's it. Like, I know that it's, okay, what do I have to invest in? And it feels like a hurdle, but a camera, a ring light, and even like these DJI mics are even more than you would need. These are like $250. They're really nice. This is what Landon, my nephew, suggested. But I was trying to do like a professional podcast. If you're trying to do a professional YouTube channel, just getting that basic equipment. And then there's so many YouTube videos on how to create a YouTube channel. Like even Millie is pretty good at explaining those things. But
I want to look into that too, Z. I do. But my quick question is, do you have to film, or can you can do static, like a camera above, and you can do static things like a journal or different things like that? It doesn't have to all be filmed, does it?
on YouTube, it's all video.
Okay.
But I have this little guy that I use a lot. It's annoying because I have to take my case off because it's magnetic, but it is a stand, but it also can be a selfie stick. And also you can angle it, not a lot, but a little. Brandon went and bought me a gimbal because Landon said so, but I never use it. It's like a little handheld thing and you put your phone in it and it has an automatic, it's like a chicken head or it'll follow you around, but I don't use it, but super basic little things. That way for you, it would be, or Zulema would be filming, like setting up a camera and filming the interview, taking the camera around with you, like filming it as you're drumming, filming it as you're recording, like setting it up. But as far as editing, that also comes a lot easier than you'd think. And there's lots of software now to help. I use Descript. It's a paid one. I know there's way better ones, but I chose Descript because when you load the video into it, it will give you the whole transcription. So when you're editing, you can cut out text blocks rather than having to go through the video and listen for what you want to cut out. I can like scroll through and be like, okay, this whole chunk of this long question that wasn't super relevant or whatever it is that I'm cutting out, or someone goes on a little vulnerable spiel about work and how they're feeling. And I'm like, I don't know if everybody needs to hear that. That was just for us. I can cut out a huge text block rather than having to edit through the video. So that's been helpful for me, the script. But I don't know, I think any of us wanting to go on this adventure should seriously consider a YouTube channel above all else, because you can take that long form content, chop it up. There's another editing app. I played with it a little. They wanted me to do a brand deal with them called InVideo AI. I still might do it because it is cool and they wanted to pay me like $800 a post. But it's like a editing app where you can load a script into it and then it will pull either already existing B-roll or create AI footage based on the script and give you clips. So you can just create a whole faceless reel, basically, and you choose your style. It could be like cartoon, super hyper realistic. It could be like, it's cool. I need to play with it a little more, but that way you can take your long form content on YouTube and then sparse it out to all your other platforms. And I think that I just need to tell everybody that from now on, like if you're going to begin to create lots of content and you don't mind filming, get some long form content. Sometimes it's harder to edit it down to 3 minutes than it is to post a 10-minute video for me. Sometimes I'm on a rampage talking about something and I'm like, there's 8 minutes. I got to cut it down to 3. And even 3 is a long time on Instagram because it used to only be 90 seconds. So I'd be like, getting the whole message out, then having to refilm it. Shoot, I left that out. Now it's 3 minutes, but I don't know how many people want to sit and listen to 3 minutes at a time. YouTube, that's what they're there for. So you just get a lot more. What is it, like however many minutes people need to watch you? It's like hours or something to watch you, to trust you enough to purchase with you. So if they're only getting 90 seconds at a time on Instagram, how much easier is it to get traction with people when they're watching you for 10, 20, 30 minutes at a time?
What's the first one? Was it transcript or
Descript. Descript.
e-script?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say that I have a ring light. You can see I just turned it off and now I just turned it on. And you can put your phone in the middle of the ring light to do videos. You can do all kinds of stuff. I'd rather be outside doing stuff on my own. I just got to get better at doing the stuff where you catch the person in the first 3 minutes to be able to do it. But little microphones, and there's a little switch like this that you can turn on and off your phone with as well. This just turns on and off the light, but when you've got your phone on and it turns your phone on and off, and you put a little thing in the bottom of your phone, and it controls when you can turn in the camera on and off. And I'm sure Kate has that already too.
Yeah, that's what, and I'm a little concerned because my receiver is not in the box. If it's not there, where is it? But I'm gonna show you this. All you need is a front light and a back light if you're gonna film inside. So that's crappy content. No light. My face, you can see my face in the camera better, but it gives more dimension to have something behind you than having something in front of you. Can be a little bit too hard for the camera to adjust to. And that's if you want softer lighting, but having a backlight and a front light just gives for a more warm, full bodied content experience.
Kate, that should be like that should be a video for you.
Showing the differences in lighting.
Yeah, because I did not know that. That's like a moment.
I learned that pretty early. Someone was like, you need a front light and a back light. And I actually want to buy a softbox. My podcast manager brought his over. And so right now, this is my ring light, but it's big and clunky, huge, and blinding. But a softbox is like, it's like a little fabric black box, and it has the slits of like white mesh in the middle. So it directs the light a little bit better. I just have had this, so I'm like, why spend the money if it works? But as soon as that dies, I'm gonna get a softbox. And I've made mistakes of things. Like I bought this boom microphone, and it worked for like a day and a half, and then pooped on me. But I still like to have it for when I am in my content, looking like I'm talking, and I have my DJI strapped to it on the backside, just because I still want good sound, but I want to have a certain aesthetic. I don't really like the look of a clipped microphone to you when you're trying to have professional content. All these guys with beards or that wear hats always clip it to their beard, and I'm like, wouldn't that be nice? So, yeah, I say we all try to dig in and
Me too.
YouTube,
Me too.
make some money. Make a lot more
YouTube
money.
challenge.
Holy cow, a lot more money. The lady that I follow, gosh, I never remember her name, and I followed her so long ago, it'd take me forever to find her, but she does voiceovers. She makes a lot of money in content creation, and she said that she had a reel go viral. It was like last week, and I know which one it was too. She went downstairs. She said, I haven't been downstairs. I have OCD. My kids never help me clean. I give them everything. I spoil the crap out of them, but I have OCD, and all I wanted was for them to clean the house. So she goes downstairs, and that basement where they live is just disgusting. Like the dog puked somewhere on the floor, and it was all dried up, and there's socks and dishes and plates from a week ago. She's like, here's all my silverware. So she's just filming herself cleaning and cleaning while she's just doing a voiceover. So all she did was set up her camera, clean, set up her camera, clean, set up her camera, clean. And then she loaded that into CapCut and did a voiceover telling the story after she edited the video. Mega viral. She said it got 2 million views on TikTok, 1 million views on Facebook, 1 million views on Instagram. She made no money on Instagram because right now Instagram's bonus for paying you is only for posts, carousel or posts. That's it. That's the only way I can make money on Instagram with content right now. And they change it all the time, so it's annoying. Facebook, she said she made $1,200. TikTok, she made $1,500. And she made $6,700 for 500,000 views on YouTube. So half the views as the other platforms. TikTok, what was it, 1,200 or 1,500 for Facebook and TikTok, but 6,700 for half the views. on her YouTube channel. So that's why I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not trying to kill myself trying to sell $47 a month community memberships on Instagram. If I had a TikTok channel where they could sit and listen and learn lessons and then go, I want more of that in a directed way, that would get so many more people in this community than a 3-minute reel where they have to watch 100 of them to even know that I know what I'm talking about to join this community. But if I can get people into this community and do what I love, while also if I get lucky and get 80,000 views, 100,000 views on a YouTube video, which is a little harder to do, then you also make thousands of dollars. What are we doing?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking too. Instead of working towards that goal is to not posting every day.
Yeah.
Actually focusing on maybe 2 or 3 reels a week or something that it has more that's longer and more content.
Yeah. Like Millie, we always talk about Millie. Not everybody knows. Millie's a girl that does it. She's got like 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I've noticed something about her content that's a little irritating, but it's smart. She'll give you nuggets while also saying, for more, watch this video. And within the video that I was watching, she recommends like 7 different ones of her videos while she's talking. So it's like she gets you hooked with one, she gives you a nugget, and then you have to go to the next video to get the next nugget. You go to the next video to get the next nugget, and you're just chasing her nuggets everywhere while she's racking up views and she's getting paid. She's giving great nuggets, but she doesn't make it easy. She's not just delivering everything in one video. She's sending you on a rabbit hunt to get what you need, but she's getting paid for views. And she also has a course. And I don't know if she still does, I don't think she does one-on-one work anymore, but she makes money because if I don't want to chase my tail getting all these nuggets from all these 8 different videos, I'm just going to join her course. So yeah, so that's why I've been just like, what am I doing here? What do I want to do? Like, I feel like most of us can give way more value with messages that we want to share, or even you, Elias, with teaching Spanish. So much easier to get online and do it your way on YouTube. So
I know.
yeah.
I think that's more of a shift I'm going to work towards to get out of the daily Instagram. It's good to learn, but I think I'm ready for the next type thing.
That's why sometimes a slow down, I can't remember the way I used to say it, zoom out to zoom in. If you don't know what you're doing, you're so focused on one thing and you don't really feel like you know what direction exactly, zoom out to like your bigger picture. What was it? Last week I was telling you guys I want to focus on creating more content, like tutorials. And I'm like, is that actually what I want to do? I'm like, no, I don't. I want to share messages that matter. So from last Friday to here, now I've already been like, okay, what can I do for a YouTube channel? So sometimes it's okay to have, if you have a major roadblock or resistance to something, like it's good to really soul search like what it is. Why are you feeling that resistance? And what direction do you actually truly want to go in? Because if you're not passionate about it, if you're not enjoying it, that's not the point here. We're building our own businesses because we want to enjoy what we're doing. We want to be passionate about it. We can go get a job anywhere if we want to hate it.
True. But I think that too, because I've been doing it 10 years, but not the selling part, not what I've learned here, not that, but the posting. So I definitely am working in the next year or 2 to shift to something where I'm not doing that. But especially with you, you have such good content and you can talk longer. You're very articulate. So I think that would be a better, not better, but a different and more advantageous platform for you as far as time.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people have the gift to gab, some don't.
Awesome.
I do. This is a good
so
site to kind of brain dump on it.
I just found that the Instagram and the social medias, you have to speak so quickly. Oh gosh. And mine run, the things that I talk about and find myself enjoying the most are 15, 20 minutes. And even then I'm cutting it off because I'm like, how many people are going to listen to that? And that's why I've just always thought to shoot straight to YouTube, just because I talk too much and I just can't make it that short.
Yeah. So. And the good thing is you can take those super profound clips. Okay. You're like, I really drove that point home. Okay. We're doing this lesson today and I can see you guys on the screen. I can tell when you're nodding. Like I can see when you're typing stuff in the chat. I'll say a million things, but now and then I'll say something that everyone is like, that. Like when I'm talking about how important content is and how it's never easier to get over posting. Doing it now is the most important thing. I saw you guys nodding. If that was a YouTube video, like that would be the point of me like cutting that out and putting that on Instagram. It's like you want to give your best stuff to get people in and then give the whole message on YouTube. So you would be able to do your long form content, but then take those nuggets and put those on Instagram to get more people over to your YouTube.
It's good, kind of sprinkle it around.
Yeah. The best content creators get paid the best. Point people to all of their platforms. It's okay, I only gave a minute or 90 seconds on Instagram, but there's a 10-minute video on TikTok that leads to a 30-minute video on YouTube. That's genius. But I'm gonna try to find that. You said, was it B-roll or the sped up? I think hers is mostly normal time, but she's cutting out, she's doing it normal time, but she's like editing, okay, now I'm like spraying the sink, wiping it, and then she cuts to like walking over to the bed. Now she's making the bed. So she's just editing clip to keep you engaged mentally, visually, and then telling a story that keeps you involved. I'm gonna try to find her page.
My recent favorite is you when you're walking through your kitchen and you're talking about being ADHD, and no, I think it was OCD, and you opened your microwave and you tried to lift the wrap out of it and it was stuck to the bottom.
Like, yep,
That's perfect. Yes.
and
Been
that
there.
was just such a whim. I'm like, my kitchen is a mess right now, and if I'm like triggering myself a little bit, like I'm sure anyone with OCD would hate to see like how I feel like things are just totally normal around here.
Uh-huh.
But I could have shown way worse stuff. That was just what I
That
found
was
in the
good.
moment.
That's good. That's where I lived. Yep.
And that's what people love. Is like, show me you being human. Show me you being normal. And like I know that I have a comfort zone where I'm sitting behind my little ring light at my little desk with my little backdrop and my light. Like when I think of creating content, I'm like, I need to go sit at my desk and create content. Some of my best content is not sitting at my desk. It's doing other things, like walking around. We have our little comfort zones, but gosh, what is her name? Oh, here she is. Underscore just underscore jazzy underscore. But now she's like, I'm gonna do a food page. I found out people are getting paid crap ton of money with eating food content. So one of her last reels was like, now I'm just gonna sit here and look down my food and tell a story. I'm
Can you
like,
say that name again?
underscore just underscore jazzy Jazzy.
I'll send it to Connie and Kimmy. I'll send it to you guys right now on IG.
Trying to find how many views she got on that reel, or how long ago she posted. And then another one that did really good for her. She again was complaining about her kids. She's like, these kids never do what I ask. I asked them to clean up the dishes and do this and this, but they didn't. So I'm heading out because I booked myself a hotel, and then it shows her like walking out of the house and like checking into a hotel, and it shows the nice clean bed. She's like, I'm gonna be here ordering myself food. And when I come back, I hope they appreciate me. And I'm like, that's awesome. But yeah, she gets paid. She's averaging like $100,000 a month for her content. Hello, money.
Is that on Instagram or YouTube?
She's on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And this is who I learned from, that you cannot use, like I was using that website called repurpose.io, because you link all your handles, and when you post from your parent account, it will upload the videos. So I was uploading for 6 months. I was posting on Instagram. Anything I would post on Instagram would upload to TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, which is perfect for being very efficient because I wasn't posting anywhere else before that. And I was growing because I was doing that. I got from 600 followers on TikTok to 12,000 followers on TikTok, like within a couple weeks of doing that, which was crazy. And I got a few thousand followers on Facebook, and my YouTube started growing. But then I learned if you cross post through a third party, you cannot monetize it. You have to individually upload to each platform, which again is why I haven't been doing it, because I've been focused on Instagram. And like when you edit in Instagram, it's like, okay, now you got to worry about trending audio. You got to worry about downloading it. And so if you're editing it in an app like CapCut, you can download it and then upload it individually to each platform, but it's a lot of work. It's also a lot of money. She's uploading each video individually to all 4 platforms, but that's why she made, well, no money on Instagram, $1,200 on Facebook, $1,500 on TikTok, and $6,700 on YouTube, because if she only posted to one, she'd only make one of those. Content creation is super lucrative nowadays.
So you're
So you
saying
can't-
have repurpose?
What'd you say?
So you're saying not to use the repurpose? Because I had that in my notes specifically. So don't do that.
If you want to get paid for content, I think I said it like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did talk about repurpose. Then once I jumped on Jazzy's, she did a master class. It was like an hour-long master class for $25. She was saying, don't. And I think I told you guys, if you want to just post content to like make sales, repurpose is a very good way to grow. If you're trying to monetize and get paid for views, you have to upload it individually per platform.
Oh, okay.
If you're not interested in getting paid for content and you don't plan on trying to go viral, you're trying to make sales or get people in your community, if getting paid for content wasn't a priority and just selling like a product, then repurpose is genius. I loved using it, and I was heartbroken to learn that you got to do it all yourself, uploading individually. But even if you chose 2 platforms, YouTube, okay, I'm going to do YouTube, and then I'm going to post on Instagram. Like, even just picking 2 to make it reasonable for yourself is still a really good idea.
Okay.
My problem is basically I'm just
That's
getting
better.
to learn how to post on Instagram, but going to TikTok or something, I have to learn what TikTok, how to post on TikTok too. So
That's all of our problem. That's why I
Yeah.
haven't been doing it. I'm like, I know Instagram, and that's a good excuse for me to just stay in my little bubble. I already learned
Yeah.
Instagram. TikTok's not much different than Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook's not much different than Instagram. YouTube is just a little bit different in where you upload your SEO, like keywords and stuff, but it's still all basically the same steps. As long as you've got your keywords and you've learned where to put them, it's one more thing to learn, as if we don't all have enough things to learn.
Caitlin, what are the top 2? So YouTube pays the most, then what's like the second one?
TikTok. And then Facebook, and then Instagram. Actually, Threads, then Instagram.
Instagram's last. And that's the one I'm trying to post on.
Instagram is best for selling digital products.
Yeah, and that's why that's why I'm there. So
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's why I'm here too. If you want to do talk shop type stuff, if you're selling like stuff, TikTok's better. If you're selling info products, Instagram's way better. But YouTube,
Yeah.
you sell stuff, info products, and get paid.
My whole problem is like anybody, just making the schedule and the time to do it. It's like Kimmy's got a picture on her back wall behind her of John Wayne, and John Wayne used to say, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up in anyway." So that's what I need to do. Everybody needs to do that. If you don't do it now, this is why I'm setting up my stand store and all my stuff so I can get the money into, what's the other one where you get the money from stand store into your account? I got to set that up, and that doesn't take long either, but
Right.
just getting all that done. I just keep saying to myself, I need to do this first. I need to be posting more than anything else. And yes, I need to set up everything else, but I use the excuse it's my job and time, but there's no excuse because I can make the time to do it. So
It does take sacrifice for sure. I lost most of my friends, all my little girlfriends. And there was like a couple, I saw a bachelorette party. They all went to California, and I was like, I want to go. But I haven't talked to them. And I definitely was going to be a bridesmaid had I stayed friends. But now they're off trolloping the universe, and I'm just looking on. But that was a sacrifice I made for this business, and I love it here. It's hard. It's just like working out. It's so hard for a lot of people. That's the last thing on earth I want to do. But if I want to get healthier and look better, I got to do it. If we want to make money and build our business, content is our working out.
That was my New Year's resolution, is just saying no to people. And it's been great.
Just very freeing.
Yep. Whenever I feel like working out, I lie down until the feeling goes away.
It's effective. All right, so I would love to hear YouTube journeys. I'm going to, if I'm gonna have to get back into something because I haven't known what to do, might as well force myself to do the thing that will pay off the most. And if I'm doing it and if other people are doing it, it would be really fun to support each other in that and share videos that are helpful, videos that we're learning. Because just like you, Kimmy, you haven't been posting yet. So if you are going to kick your own pants and say, fine, I'm posting, might as well do it on a platform that's going to grow you an income in multiple ways. And then, like I said, one of the things you said, so YouTube for paid views and then Instagram for selling products. YouTube's perfect for selling products too. There's so many coaches on there that go and do a 20-minute tutorial of this or a lesson on that or teaching you this. But then they also in their caption say, if this was helpful, you might love my community. If this was helpful, you might love my course. Or here are the tools that I use. The link is in the caption. If you want to try, like all of Millie's videos talk about stand store. She's probably making like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 at least per month just from her stand store referrals because she teaches people how to do it, and her link is right there. So yeah,
I think that's a good
really
idea,
is the
Kimmy,
goat.
too.
And
Because like you, I've been doing this a long time, Instagram 10 years, but I want to pivot to where I can just focus on one slowly, just focus.
Yeah.
And not do the posting. Because I'm a writer at the base. So I want to do something like that and a blog and kind of Instagram maybe to the left.
yeah. Yep. It's one of those things where once I realized, okay, maybe that is what I want to do is YouTube. You want to punch a wall because you're like, I could have been doing that this whole time.
Especially you, girl. Jeez.
Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
what? Never too late. Never too late. I just think we could do it in a year from now.
All in due time. I think maybe if I had started an Instagram channel, it was all content, people would have been confused when all of a sudden it was like life lessons. Do you think you're my mom? Just teach me how to make money. That's
You
funny.
could do that too.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll teach you how to make money and be your mom. I love y'all. I have a,
Guys, this was a good one. They're all good, but
you guys did it. I only had a short little lesson. But I did post in the community for the call. I said takeaways for the call reminder. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I need to post your guys' feedback. You guys gave some really good feedback from a call I did a couple weeks ago, and then I still haven't even posted it. But I promise I will. And then next week will be Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific.
see you guys.
Got it.
Love you
Thanks,
guys.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You
Yeah,
too.
thanks so much, Caitlin. We appreciate you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you all. All right.
Thanks, Kate.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.